Hello you guys and welcome back to my channel. Make sure you're subscribed and have your post notifications on. So I asked you guys on Instagram to send me your assumptions about me, and I'm so thankful for every single one of you that participated. Obviously I want to be able to put out certain videos for you guys, so it makes it so much easier when everyone participates. So thank you so much if you participated. So I'm just gonna get right into the video. I have my water. I'm gonna be reading them just randomly. There was two assumptions that were very similar, pretty much like the same like topic, but they're opposite. So I'm just gonna answer that one first and answer that one, or answer both of them together pretty much. So let's just get started. Let me find it first. You're ready for baby number 3. And there's a second one that is pretty much the opposite, and it says you're not ready for baby number 3 yet. I feel like we've been satisfied with 2 kids for a while now, and I don't know, I feel like we're just so used to it, you know, just having 2. I mean, Isla is a little bit over 2 years old already. So I personally think for now we are satisfied with 2 kids. I mean, we don't know what the future holds and what the future looks like. I mean, God obviously has his own plans, but for now we're good with 2. So not that we're not ready for baby number 3. I mean, we're ready, but I feel like right now we're just kind of good with 2, and we're just gonna wait it out and see what happens. All right, the next one is you love making new friends. This is very true. I love meeting new people and making new friends, especially when it's I feel like people that kind of are on your level, and especially if it's like new moms, you know, if they have kids that are your age, or even if, you know, they're young moms and they also have kids, or even if they don't have kids yet, but they're, you know, similar ages to me. And I feel like it's so important to meet new friends because obviously, you know, God takes certain people out of your life for a reason and puts new people in. So, all right, the next one is you don't have leader-like character or qualities. So this one, at first, I kind of thought about it and I was like, well, everyone can be a leader at some point. Like, if it comes to that, I feel like everyone, no matter who you are, can have like leadership qualities. Obviously, if it comes to that. To me personally, I feel like part of this is actually true. Part of this assumption is true because I don't see myself as a leader. First of all, leaders have so much more responsibility. It doesn't matter what kind of leader you are. You know, you could be a leader in a worship group, you can be a leader in your work group, or, you know, whatever. It doesn't matter what kind of leader you are. I feel like any leadership role, you have so much responsibilities, and I feel like I just would not be able to do that. I feel like I'll just put it this way, I would not want to have a lot of responsibilities and, you know, have everything be on your shoulders because it's hard. So I guess that assumption is kind of true. I don't have leadership qualities, and I probably never will. The next one is, are you close with your parents? But this is like more of a question, so I'm gonna state it as an assumption. You are close with your parents. Yes, I am very close with my parents. I tell my parents everything. Ever since I lived with them, I don't think I ever kept anything from my parents. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm really close with my parents. The next one is you were a golden child when you were young. So I would say I was a pretty good child, you know, whether that's at home or like at school. At school, I was very, very quiet and shy. I feel like growing up, definitely I grew out of it, you know, as I reached like my teenage years, but I was very quiet, and I feel like for the most part, I was a good child. I was a good kid. I wasn't rowdy. Like, I never got in trouble in school. So I think I mean, I wouldn't say golden child because I wasn't a perfect child, but I feel like for the most part, I was a pretty good student, child. I always listened to my parents. I mean, obviously as kids we got in trouble, but I don't know. I don't see myself as being like a bad child. All right, next one is you're more likely to be working from home rather than away from home. So if I were to ever get a job, this is very true. I don't think I would want to work anywhere else other than home. That's, I feel like, one of the main reasons I kind of started to do YouTube, because I mean, I don't know where I'm gonna get with YouTube, but I kind of wanted to start doing something at home just to see where it would go. I think I mentioned this before many times, but I always wanted to start working from home or doing something from home when the kids are in school. Obviously, I decided to, try out YouTube earlier, but I feel like I do not see myself working anywhere but from home. The next one is you have a daily makeup routine. So this is partly true, but not true. I mean, I have a makeup routine that I do every time I'm going out, but I've stopped putting on makeup. Like if I'm at home, I'm not going anywhere, I'm just lounging at home, I don't put on a full face of makeup. I just don't. I feel like I've stopped definitely for about a year. It's already been a year since because sometimes there were days when the kids were just born, they were young, and I would wake up, I would feel like I would have more time to kind of put myself together. I would put a little bit of makeup on, not like a full face of makeup. But even right now, there hasn't been days where I put on makeup every single day. Like if I'm at home, I don't wear makeup. Next one is you are not a procrastinator. This is true. I don't know what happened to me, but when I was in school, I was such a procrastinator. I was the biggest procrastinator. Especially when it came to schoolwork. Whenever I knew that I had a big project due, I would literally wait until the very last minute. I would wait until the night before that it's due to do it. And I don't know, that was just a thing. I hated school. I mean, I wasn't bad in school, but I just hated school. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys hated school. But as soon as I became a mom, I feel like that changed. I feel like right now, if I know I need to do something, for example, if I know that I need to clean the kitchen before the kids, after the kids go to bed, I feel like I would try to do it ASAP and not wait until they go to bed, but just do it right away so I don't have to do it later. I don't know, I feel like when you become a mom, your mindset changes. So I feel like I was a procrastinator, and then now I'm not, or at least I try not to be, because I feel like as a mom, when you let things pile up, it just gets harder. So usually I've been really good with if I know I need to do something, I do it right away. Next one is you really want to be an influencer. Oh my gosh, my phone just dropped. So this assumption, I feel like is definitely wrong. I don't know about you guys. You might have a different opinion than I do. For me, an influencer and a YouTuber are two different things. For me, I think of an influencer as the person who manages multiple social media platforms. That can be like Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. I think of those. I think that if you manage, so many social media platforms, you're considered an influencer. I feel like if you're doing strictly YouTube and you have a video posting routine and you just strictly post on YouTube, I feel like it's slightly different. There are many influencers, because I mean, I'm sure people are going to disagree with me, but there are many influencers that are YouTubers that have multiple platforms, social media platforms, that they're very active on also. So technically, you can still be considered an influencer if you're doing YouTube plus, all the other stuff, all the other social media platforms that you are active on. I personally am just trying to stick to being a YouTuber. So I do not want to be an influencer. Being an influencer is hard. You have so many different platforms you have to manage. You just have so much more responsibility. It's definitely hard being an influencer. So I feel like I am just trying to strictly stick to YouTube. First of all, I don't know where my YouTube journey is going to take me. Let me just say it this way. I'm sure many of you want to be successful. I'm sure there's nobody that does not want to be successful in life, obviously. I mean, so personally, I want to be successful. So whether that's in YouTube or maybe that's not in YouTube, I want to be successful. So I'm focusing more on being a YouTuber. only post videos on YouTube, and I'm just trying to stick to YouTube. You know, God has his plan for me. Obviously I want to be successful in YouTube and I want to grow my channel. So whatever happens, happens. But I feel like being an influencer and managing, you know, many different platforms, social media platforms, is not for me. This one kind of goes with the procrastinator one. You constantly clean up and pick up after the kids and you don't let it pile up. This is so not true. So my biggest, if you don't know me already, my biggest thing that I hate doing is laundry. I hate laundry. Hate is a very strong word. Fine. I dislike laundry. I really dislike laundry. Laundry is probably the biggest thing that piles up in our house. That might be embarrassing to say, but I don't care. It's just the biggest thing that piles up, and if I don't do it right away, I'll never do it. Another thing that I feel like piles up is definitely the kids' playroom. I clean it and maybe 10 minutes later they're gonna come in and start playing with it. I actually always wanted to say this. My water just spilled. I always wanted to say this. So I'm sure many of you noticed, but if you have kids and you have playroom, then you might understand what I'm talking about. So whenever our playroom is dirty for days, and by dirty I mean toys everywhere, the kids do not even go in there. They do not touch any toys, nothing. As soon as I clean up, they start playing in there. And obviously because they see that there's room to play, all their toys are put away, and it's funner to take toys out and start playing with them. And so that's the thing that piles up, is toys. There's one toy out and then another toy out and another toy out, and eventually the whole playroom is filled with toys. And at that point I just leave it. And I don't touch it for a few days. Like even this whole week I just didn't touch the playroom all week because I just didn't want to bother cleaning it up knowing it's gonna get messy again. And so that's the thing that piles up. The one thing I feel like that I try to be on top of is dishes. I feel like as soon as there's dishes in the sink, I try to do them ASAP. It's hard, but I try really hard to make sure that the dishes are done all the time, and not get overloaded. So anyways, this one is definitely not true. I definitely do not constantly pick up after the kids, because if I did that in my house, it'd always be clean, and it's definitely not always clean. The next one is, you have doubts about YouTube. Yes, this is true. I always have doubts about YouTube. Whenever I ask you guys on Instagram or Snapchat, because Instagram and Snapchat are the only two platforms I can use to let you guys know about YouTube videos. You know, if I'm doing a Q&A, or if I want to do a certain type of video like this, like the assumptions video, those are the only two platforms I can use to, you know, give me ideas or write assumptions about me, like in this video. And it's very important that people participate so that I am able to make these kind of videos for you guys. And so whenever I see like so many people participating, commenting on my videos, it boosts my confidence and it takes all those negative thoughts away from me. I get just negative thoughts, like, why am I doing this? Is there even a point? Like, you know, am I wasting my time? So yes, I do doubt YouTube. But I feel like when you guys support me and participate, that is the only thing that keeps me going. You're pregnant, but nobody knows yet. This is so funny. I actually should have put this one right after like the baby number 3 assumption. But no, I am not pregnant. You feel weird doing YouTube sometimes. Yes, this is so true. I do feel weird, even to this day. I've definitely grown out of it a little bit, but I still do feel weird doing YouTube sometimes. And by weird, I mean like, people are gonna see my house, people are gonna see me like talk to the camera, like people that I know, like just like this really weird vibe that like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm doing YouTube. Like, people are gonna think I'm weird, you know what I mean? So I do think sometimes that I feel weird doing YouTube. Like, to me it's like, oh, like people, you know, people that I grew up with, like from church, or that I used to go to school with, like they're gonna see me on YouTube, and like that makes me feel weird, you know? But I've grown like over, I don't know, the past months, I've grown so much, and I'm trying to build up my confidence even more. I assume you want a small family instead, since you grew up in a larger one. So if you didn't already know, I grew up in a house of 6 kids. So including me, there are 6 kids in my family. I have 2 brothers and then I have 3 sisters. And I loved growing up in a big family, like big-ish family. Our family wasn't huge, but it wasn't small either. Like 6 kids is like a decent amount. And I personally loved it because I know that there's someone younger and I know that there's someone older. And I was always able to look up to my brother, my sisters. And it's nice because when you have older siblings, you always have someone to look up to. And I was still older than somebody still. So I still had 2 younger siblings. And I was able to be there for them also whenever they needed me. When I was a teenager, before starting high school, I'm like, oh my goodness, I want at least 5 kids. But obviously, when you grow up, get married, your mindset changes. And obviously, when you actually become a parent, your mindset might change even more. So I feel like right now we're good with 2, and I feel like I see us definitely having a smaller family versus a huge family, even though I loved growing up in a huge family. So to answer this question, I guess your assumption is right. I kind of do prefer smaller families just because of parenting, and being a parent and a mom and a dad is a lot of work. This one says, you are actually very nice on camera and you are in real life also. This is very sweet. So I think that this is right. I feel like the way I act on camera is pretty much the same way I act when I'm off camera. And whoever knows me and knows me well enough will probably agree. And if you don't, then that's just your opinion. But I feel like I personally don't think I'm a rude person, or I don't know. I personally think I'm nice off and on camera. I guess that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and comment down below if you want me to do a part 2. This was very fun. I love how it's anonymous, so you don't know who sent it. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye guys.